I'm pretty sure Sasquatch is dancing somewhere in the Pacific Northwest because it's a full moon, and you know what that does to everybody. You know, that's where the word lunatic came from, ladies and gentlemen. Are you aware of that? That's where the word lunatic came from, because people in the 19th century, psychiatrists, that name sends a shiver down my spine, noticed that people who were locked up in mental institutions were a million times nuttier during a full moon than they were normally, and hence the term lunatic. Luna, of course, having to do with the moon. So, you know, if you ever want to go out and have a good time, if you ever want to have a party, if you ever want to optimize enrollment, if you are a longevity person, do it during a full moon or the few days leading up to or immediately after the full moon. You'll be amazed at the results that you get. 866-582-9933 is the number to call to speak to me live. 866-582-9933. And if you're listening to the podcast, that number, 855-347-3696, 855-347-3696. I am attempting to dial in a very special guest for later in this week, Jim Sensenig. Dr. Jim Sensenig was the original founder of the American Association of Naturopathic Physicians. He has a private naturopathic medical practice in Connecticut. He's been a political advocate of naturopathic medicine for almost 3 decades. And he's been on the forefront of alternative cancer research and has a lot to share with us about cancer, its neogenesis, the contributing causes of tumor formation in the body, what happened with chemotherapy and all other types of medical treatment for cancer. Chemotherapy came in and eliminated all other types of medical research, all other types of thought, clinical thought, medical thought towards the genesis of tumor cells. Chemo, the presence of chemotherapy in the medical theater completely changed everything when it comes to medical research. And if I was God of medicine, what I would do is I would outlaw all chemotherapy starting today. Right now, a half an hour from now, it is illegal for anyone to deliver chemotherapy, and it is illegal to give medical research dollars to chemotherapeutic concerns. And if we did that, if we simply eliminated chemotherapy, everything would change, because we were getting some very, very good clinical ground on cancer before chemotherapy came along, and then once chemotherapy came along, all that it did, the only thing that chemotherapy changed was our pocketbooks, and not for the better. All right, looks like we're going to shuffle on off to Nevada and talk to, I can't read the name here. Forgive me, a Nevada person. It looks like it might be Dal from Nevada. You are live.
Hi. I have a problem with anxiety, and I'm on the Mighty 90, and I take it faithfully. But I get really bad anxiety. It comes and goes. And so I started taking the de-stress, and it seems to help a little bit, but I don't know, I just barely started going on it yesterday. Do you have any recommendations?
Yeah, what's your current body weight?
190.
And how many Healthy Start Packs are you taking a month?
I take 2 of them.
Okay, so how much?
I only take 1.5, probably.
All right, so how much of the white liquid calcium do you get down the hatch every day? How much of the white liquid calcium are you able to get into your body every day?
1 tablespoon.
What, 1 tablespoon, that's it?
Well, if I remember, I take it at night, but I'm probably only really faithful with 1.
Okay, so that's the problem right there. So from our point of view, one of the leading generative causes of chronic anxiety is a calcium deficiency. So, and 1 tablespoon is, the recommendation is 2 tablespoons per 50 pounds of body weight per month. 2 tablespoons, no, I'm sorry, it's 1 tablespoon per 50 pounds of body weight per month. 1 tablespoon per 50 pounds of body weight per month. So you're about 3 tablespoons short, right? So what I would do as a little in-house experiment for 7 days is I would take 1 fluid ounce, 1 ounce, so get a shot glass or get an ounce measuring cup, take 1 fluid ounce of the white liquid calcium in the morning, 1 fluid ounce of the white liquid calcium in the afternoon, and 2 fluid ounces of the white liquid calcium immediately before bed. And feel free to mix that, by the way, with orange juice or whatever else you'd like, water, anything else that really, in order to make it taste better, or you can just take it straight. I'd really prefer, though, that instead of just taking a straight shot of it, you did mix it with at least 2 or 3 ounces of something else just to dilute it a little bit. It'll make it a little bit easier on your stomach. And if what you dilute it with is acidic, you know, like lemonade or orange juice or grapefruit juice, it will make it much easier for your stomach to digest it and your body to absorb it. So for 7 days in a row, do 1 fluid ounce of the white liquid calcium in the morning, 1 fluid ounce of the white liquid calcium in the afternoon, and 2 fluid ounces of the white liquid calcium immediately before bed. And see if in that 7-day time period, the quality of the anxiety attacks diminishes, or the quantity of the anxiety attacks diminish, or if there's something into the bargain there that it makes that if the anxiety and panic attacks have changed in a substantial way inside of 7 days. Now, I like your thought process, because the de-stress, right? Oh, I'm all stressed out. That would be a good thing to take. Well, it is, but the de-stress doesn't fix the cause of the stress. It just helps your body handle it. So, you know, if you're all stressed out and you're getting an anxiety attack, during the anxiety attack, certain metabolic processes are cranked up, and so you burn through other nutrients that the de-stress will replace. So it'll make it easier for you to handle the anxiety attacks if you take the de-stress, but the de-stress ain't going to fix the anxiety attacks. And what we use to support and promote the structure and function of your central nervous system, which is what's necessary here during anxiety and panic attacks, is more calcium, and then to that we add more calcium, and then to that we add more calcium. So check that out for 7 days as a little in-house experiment, and give me a call back. Does that sound like a plan?
Yes. Oh, thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. Tell me, how do you spell your name? What's your name again?
Dal. D as in dog, A-L, Dal.
Dal, just like the sheep, the Dal sheep. All right, very good. All right, thanks, Dal. I appreciate the phone call. Give me a call back in about 7 days with a report, and I will look forward to it. The West Coast holds sway, ladies and gentlemen. The West Coast holds sway. We're going from Nevada to Oregon now to talk to Bob. Hey, Bob, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Well, thanks for taking my call, and I pulled off the side of the road so you don't have to hear my background noise today.
Good job, Bob. Well, I'm glad I was able to pick your call up expediently. What part of the world are you in?
I'm sitting here west of Portland right now. I drive truck in Oregon.
Yeah, very nice. Well, you know, that's kind of a nice part of the world. Out there by the Columbia River, right?
Yeah, it's great. It doesn't get too hot, doesn't get too cold, and
yeah,
no humidity.
Yeah, you got to love it, man. You got to love the Pacific Northwest, except, of course, when it rains all of the freaking time, Bob. It rains all of the time from September to May. I lived in Seattle for 12 years. Man, oh, man, the last year that I lived there, it rained for 90-something days in a row. I wanted to shoot myself. But I swear to God, when anybody visits the Pacific Northwest in July, August, or early September, it's like heaven. I mean, it is the nicest place in the United States for July, August, and September. It is beautiful in the Pacific Northwest at this time of the year. But you didn't call me to talk about the weather, Bob. How can I help?
I got a friend that has a 4-year-old that is so allergic to eggs that if they got some white, or just the white part on their skin, and it just puffed up.
Interesting. Now, all right, so an allergy like that is specific to a specific protein. So, you know, I'm assuming it's a chicken egg that they're allergic to, right? So they should do a little experiment with a quail egg, a little experiment with a duck egg, a little experiment with a goose egg, because those are different proteins. And if the child is okay with quail eggs, then that's an excellent source of cholesterol and an excellent source of protein, as would duck or goose eggs, right? So they can, and the Chinese, if there's a Chinatown in Portland or wherever they live, or, you know, farmers markets, that's where to go to find obscure little items like that, like quail eggs or duck eggs. But that would be the first thing to consider, because it's not, you know, an egg of every species that they're allergic to. It's only the chicken egg, and it's the protein that they're reacting to, all right? So it's not the fact that it's an egg. It's the fact that the egg has chicken protein in it, and that's what the child is reacting to. So I would switch it out to a duck egg or a goose egg or, you know, ostrich egg. I've never had an ostrich egg, although I've heard that they're delicious. Does that make sense?
And any kind of raw eggs, but not cooked.
Well, yeah, I lost your signal there for a while, so come back again, Bob. Come back with the raw egg thing.
Yeah, he's like mayonnaise, if it has mayonnaise in it, or, you know, something that would have raw eggs in it. When he eats that, he gets really sick, too.
Yeah, so that's interesting, you know, and it doesn't make sense to me that, well, it would make sense to me because the protein is changed when it's cooked. The protein is changed when it's cooked. So it could be that he's okay with a cooked egg, but not okay with a raw egg. But I wouldn't really press that envelope too much, because an acute allergy like that, that's nothing to mess around with. So I would just have his parents experiment with different types of eggs, because really in the wonderful world of old-fashioned nutrition, there are some things that we can pull out of the nutritionist's textbook which are helpful to us, and one of the things is a protein conversion table. And protein is very important to the function and structure of the human body. It's very important. And the protein that all other proteins are compared to is egg protein. So, you know, I would check out different types of eggs for this kid and see if he can handle them. Hang on, folks. We're up against the hard break here. I am Dr. Peter Glidden, and this is Fire Your MD Now. We're going from Oregon to California when we come back. Stick around. 866-582-9933. Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. It is Monday, July 22nd, 2013. You are listening live today, baby, and we're going to go to California right now and talk to Rachel about one of my least favorite subjects, leukemia, but that doesn't matter, Rachel. That's not your fault. Thanks for the call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. I'm actually calling in for a friend of mine.
Good girl.
First of all, I wanted to tell you I love the longevity products. They've helped me with anxiety and depression tremendously.
There you go.
So thank you for doing the show. And I'm calling in because a coworker of mine just came into my cubicle about 20 minutes ago and told me she has been diagnosed with leukemia. So I wanted to find out what you would suggest she take. I'm going to take your advice on the full moon and tell her about the product.
Good job. All right. I appreciate you, Rachel, very much. So here's the deal, right? We can't treat cancer. The only people that can treat cancer in the United States are the people who suck at treating cancer, the oncologists. We've given them nearly $1 trillion to figure it out, and they've got nothing for us besides dangerous, overpriced, expensive treatments, which, guess what, cause cancer. The best possible thing that you can expect to experience from conventional cancer treatment is a couple of months, maybe a couple of years of extra lifespan, but the quality of your life is going to be for crap. Your personality is going to change, your body's going to change, your hair is going to fall out, your teeth are going to fall out, you're going to need to be taking other prescription medications just to get a good night's sleep. It is a nightmare. It is a hell on earth. And I don't know how these idiots prescribe these therapeutics and sleep soundly at night. Oh, yeah, I do know how they do it, because they're idiots. They're sociopaths. They don't care about human suffering. They care about how many Porsches are in their garage. Now, years ago, the main treatment of choice for leukemia, certainly the treatment of choice that developed the best response, was arsenic treatments. Arsenic, how about that? Did you know that arsenic is an essential nutrient? It is. Arsenic is an essential nutrient. You need a little bit of arsenic every day in order for your body to function effectively. Too much arsenic, of course, will kill you. But hey, guess what? So much will too much oxygen, or too much water, or too much sunlight. We need to keep it all in perspective. So I'm not sure if there are any medical clinics in the United States that are doing arsenic treatment for leukemia. But that's what I would do if I was diagnosed with leukemia. I would find a medical center somewhere in the world that does the intravenous arsenic treatment, and I would go there. Also, what I would do if I was diagnosed with leukemia in order to support and promote the structure and function of my immune system, because we want to optimize immune activity all of the time, is I would do one anti-aging healthy start pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. I would do 4 bottles of selenium a month. It does not matter how much I weighed. I would do 4 bottles of selenium a month. I would do 1 bottle of Z-Radical a day. I would do 1 bottle of Z-Radical a day. If I couldn't afford that, I'd do 1 bottle every other day, 1 bottle every 3 days, 1 bottle every 4 days, however much Z-Radical I could afford. I would mortgage my house. And I would take out a loan so that I could afford 1 bottle of Z-Radical a day on top of the Healthy Start Pack and the selenium. I would also clean my diet up, and you know how that goes. We need to clean the diet up because we're trying to fill the leaks in the body's nutritional tank, so to speak, before and during the time that we pour the nutrient supplements into the body. Otherwise, you're just going to leak out before they get into the bloodstream. And also, most of the foods that are on the 10 bad food list are carcinogenic. So it's a good idea for anybody to stop eating foods that are carcinogenic, especially people that have cancer. So this person immediately needs to clean their diet up, get on board with the anti-aging healthy start pack and selenium, appropriate for body weight, and then dial in as much as Z-Radical as the budget allows. And also, I would have them go to Amazon.com and get my book, or better yet, just go to FireYourMDNow.com, click on the store button and buy the book. She can either get the soft cover version for $19.95, or I think it's $21.95, or she can download it to her Kindle for $9.95. And in my book, there's a chapter on cancer with 10 questions that every cancer patient needs to ask their oncologist. So have her visit her oncologist with 2 male relatives, big guys dressed in suits, put dark glasses on them, have them stand behind her silently while she politely reads these 10 questions to her oncologist and waits patiently for his or her reply. Knowledge is power, and she needs to be proactive for her own health when up against a cancer diagnosis, because if she isn't, they're going to rape and pillage her, and then they're going to steal every cent they possibly can. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Stick around. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden, the new sheriff in town here, the new sheriff in town, bringing to whomever wants to listen science-based, clinically verified, boilerplate medical nutrition protocols, the intention of which is to optimize your body's ability to fix itself. Why? Because healing is easy. Surgery is complicated. Healing is easy. Our whole message is that your body has wisdom. Your body has a God-given wisdom. Oh, Dr. Glidden said God and medicine in the same sentence. Does that mean he's a religious nut? No. I don't espouse any major world religion. I do believe in God. I do consider myself a spiritualist. I'm a yogi of sorts, although out of practice quite a bit. But the point is that the human body is more than just our flesh and bones. Remember what Yoda said, not to be too geeky on you. Beings of light are we, not this fleshy matter. There's more going on here than meets the eye. And when you eliminate the spiritual side, the spirit essence from the medical equation, you're going to mess everything up, because the human body is a complex system of interrelated parts that is endowed with a God-given intelligence, a God-given wisdom. The cells of your body do what they do by virtue of the God-given wisdom. Now, your body grew itself all by itself into you by virtue of your God-given wisdom. I mean, what is it that gives life to the body? Is it the chromosomal material? No. Your genetic material is just as present in a dead corpse as it is in a live person. What's the difference between someone who's alive and someone who's dead? Well, it's the spiritual presence. It's the whatever it is that existed before you were born, and whatever it is that will persist after you die. And if you're an atheist, I can't help you here. And I want to make a difference between being religious, having an affiliation with an organized religion, and understanding and believing in the presence of a soul. There are 2 separate and distinct things. Now, the MDs don't believe any of this. They don't believe any of the soul stuff. Psychiatrists are the worst. Psychiatrists have been trained to believe that consciousness is a function of biochemistry. Well, let me say that again. A psychiatrist has been trained to believe that consciousness is a function of biochemistry, and that how you think, feel, reason, and everything that happens to you, mentally, is a function of biochemistry. And why do they think that? Well, because they can mess with your biochemistry with chemicals. They can make you, anxious or not, or they can make you sleepy or not, or they can make you unconscious or conscious. They can make you really, really, really happy or really, really, really sad by messing with your biochemistry. And because of their short-sightedness, they then, therefore, believe that since nobody has ever dissected the soul out of the human body, it doesn't exist. And because it doesn't exist, it can have nothing to do with the orchestrations of your metabolism. And on the other hand, if they're wrong, if there is a soul force present in the human body, then it must have everything to do with the machinations of your health, because it is the very force which gives life to your body. So holistic doctors appreciate your spiritual soul force essence. We do. Acupuncture manipulates it. The homeopathy manipulates it. Most vital systems of medicine take advantage of the wisdom of the body. For goodness sake, you think you're so smart, you think that you're so above it all. Well, you don't even know how to digest a sandwich, for goodness sake. That happens automatically. You don't even know how to walk. You do not know how to walk. It happens automatically. You don't know how to think or how to get your heartbeat or even how to breathe, because it all happens automatically. There are billions of automatic metabolic processes happening right now that are completely outside of your ability to control. You can't control them. They're happening, whether you want them to or not. Whether it's a movement towards health or a movement towards disease, they're happening, whether you want them to or not. Our entire position is stack the deck in the favor of health. Because if you don't, if you do not intervene, if you just leave it to fate, the second law of thermodynamics is going to kick in, your body's going to decay, something's going to break, and then you are SOL. Going to go talk to Utah right now with Dawn. Hey, Dawn, thanks for calling. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. I have a question about OCDC. I have a friend who has trouble with that. And, if you're on the 90, then what do you need to take in addition to that?
Well, obsessive-compulsive disorder, we would do more minerals. I would emphasize more minerals, and I would also emphasize the Smart FX. The Smart FX and more minerals. I would overdo it with the minerals, quite frankly. So the recommendation here would be 1 bottle of the plant minerals per 50 pounds of body weight per month. So if they're 100 pounds, I'd give them 2 bottles of the plant minerals. If they're 150 pounds, I'd give them 3 bottles of the plant minerals. And if they're 200 pounds, 4 bottles of the plant minerals, in addition to, of course, the Healthy Start Pack and the selenium. And the other thing to do would be the Smart FX, because that provides essential nutrients for the brain and central nervous system. So by increasing your minerals, and, of course, eliminating the 10 bad foods, and then eating a diet that's high in cholesterol would be the icing on this cake. And that time the pun was intended, because it's going to be a butter frosting icing that we're going to put on the cake. Cholesterol, 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 and cholesterol in order to support the central nervous system, because, obsessive-compulsive disorder is a nervous thing, right? It's a psychological thing / physical thing. Honestly, the hoity-toity holistic doctors, or even the holistic wannabes, use the term body-mind in order to make them feel superior to you and for you to think that they're new agey and that they know more than you. I don't use that terminology a lot, but it's appropriate to talk about it here right now, because the body-mind is a very, it's an interesting concept. The concept being that where does the mind stop and the body begin? Well, at the neck? No. I mean, at your skull? No. At the beginning of the spinal cord? No. At the end of the spinal cord? No. It's an all-encompassing thing. Your body and your mind are one thing. It's not 2 separate things. So as we support and promote the structure and function of the body, therefore we're going to be supporting and promoting the structure and function of the mind and how people think and how they feel. And in order to get everything correct, to get everything dialed in so that all the brain chemicals, are secreted at the appropriate time in the appropriate amounts as nature calls for and as nature intended, we need to fill the body's nutrient tank way up with cholesterol and the plant-derived minerals. So that's what I would do. And notwithstanding that, there's one more thing that you can pay attention to. And especially if someone is OCD, they'll be really good at paying attention to this, right? Because that's what OCD people do really well, is focus on certain things. So the next time they have a particularly aggressive OCD moment, the next time that their OCD is like, wow, like really in their face, I want them to look to see the very last thing that they had to eat or drink. The very last thing that they had to eat or drink. Because oftentimes consumption of foods that we're allergic to will capitulate a psychological reaction. So, and this isn't just for OCD people, it's for attention deficit kids, it's for attention deficit hyperactive kids, it's for people who have bipolar, it's even for people who just feel a little funky or feel a little distressed, or people that have normal variations in mood swings throughout the month. If you pay attention to what you're eating and your mood, you can often get insight that you would have missed, which can be of great help to you. So if they're able to determine that their OCD gets worse every time they eat a banana or a strawberry or a chicken egg or whatever, then by eliminating those foods from the diet as well as the 10 bad foods, you can get a leg up on the OCD. But really here, the secret sauce here is more minerals in a diet that's high in cholesterol. Does that make sense, Dawn?
Yes, but you said something about Smart FX.
Yeah.
How much of that should you take?
Well, nobody knows. I would start with 1 bottle per 100 pounds of body weight per month. That's a good place to start. We always want to up the ante, right? So if somebody's 150 pounds and they're dealing with a chronic health condition, then we recommend a 200-pound dose. If they're 150 pounds and they don't have any health conditions, then we recommend a 150-pound dose. But when we're trying to get a leg up on a chronic health condition, we always overdo it with the nutrients. Sometimes I'll double it or triple it. I'll give a 150-pound person a 300-pound dose. So it's always better in this regard, especially in the first 90 days, to overdo it with certain things. But really, I think we're going to drill that one down to 1 bottle per 100 pounds of body weight per month.
Okay. And then I have one more question. I've been taking Ocean's Gold because I have underactive thyroid. But
Yeah.
It makes my joints really stiff. So what would you say is going on there?
You're probably allergic to something that's in the Ocean's Gold. So I would stop taking it, and I would switch it out instead to selenium. I would do more selenium. And are you doing the myrrh oil to the thyroid?
No.
Okay, so perhaps a better thing for you to do would be to log into my website, fireyourmdnow.com, and sign up for my online health recovery program. It's just $20. You can cancel any time. It's month to month. And once you're a subscriber on my website, you have access to volumes of webinars that I've done in the past on different health issues. I did a whole 60-minute webinar on thyroid health. It's right there in the archives. I mean, you could join my website, 2 minutes from now and be watching the webinar 3 minutes from now, and it will tell you about all of the nuts and bolts of the thyroid, our take on it, why we think it gets funky in the first place, and the different things that we do to optimize its function. I'm telling you, and I am going to ring my own bell here, it'll be the best $20 you'll ever spend. It's way better than any copay you could ever spend. It's way better than any book you could buy, at Barnes & Noble or whatever. Because what we do, or what I do, is I give pragmatic, practical, nuts and bolts information based on real patients that we've talked about with real time and real anatomy and physiology. I mean, really, I'm unabashedly going to ring my own bell here. This is a fantastic program. And by the way, folks, we don't just have thyroid webinars. We've got blood sugar webinars and rheumatoid arthritis webinars and fibromyalgia webinars and why is the moon made of blue cheese webinars. We've got all kinds of webinars. So check it out, $20 a month at fireyourmdnow.com. Thanks for the phone call, Don. I have to move on. I appreciate everything that you do. We're going right now to British Columbia. We are continuing our international tradition to Dr. Val. Hey, Val, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. I just wanted to start off with, I've been progressing so well since I started longevity about 6 months ago.
Oh, fantastic. Well, very good for you.
I'm on the way. I had arthritis and I had no energy. I was on hormone replacement because that was causing major havoc, and which caused serious sleeping issues.
Yeah.
And after getting off the bad foods and getting on the product and just, approaching it from all angles of health, within 2 weeks, my arthritis is gone.
Gotta love
and within 6 months, I weaned myself off of HRT, which has always frightened me a little bit.
Yep.
Weaned myself off of that, and my hormones are back in balance, and I am sleeping like a baby.
Val, stick around with me. We're up against a hard break. You're hearing it right here, ladies and gentlemen. We don't screen the calls. I don't know what people are going to tell. This is it. You give the body the raw materials necessary. You're not going to believe how good you feel. We're going to hear more from Val when we come back, so stick around. Rounding it out here on a Monday afternoon with Val from British Columbia, who has a fantastic testimonial. Val, how long were you suffering with, arthritis and sleep problems before you found us?
Very seriously for about 4 years. Right after I started HRT, everything seemed to get worse, and my arthritis, that's when the arthritis kicked in. It was almost like one too many things in my system, boom, I had arthritis.
It's interesting. And you're telling me it was gone completely in 2 weeks?
2 weeks, that was gone. That was gone. That was like every morning still I wake up and I touch my knuckles and I go, wow, it's still not back. That's weird. Yeah,
I know. You got to love it, right? Well, hey, I got to tell you what, the best is yet to come. So how can I tweak this for you a little more?
Tweak it a little more, yeah. I'm actually feeling fantastic. Haven't felt this good for very, very many years. But I went and got some blood work done, and I went and got my eye checkup. So a couple little wrenches I need to work on now.
Okay.
And that is I came up with a slight jaundice, which I don't know, it's probably my system needs cleaning out, I don't know, from all that stuff I was taking.
Well, hormones, of course, can have a net negative effect on the liver because your liver is intimately involved in the conjugation of hormones. So your liver will construct and deconstruct molecules appropriately in order to fix your hormone levels, regulate your hormone levels is the word I'm looking for. So when you're taking synthetic or, even bioidentical hormones into your body, as a prescriptive agent, it's going to put undue stress on your liver, and your liver, of course, is the organ that's involved with the jaundice. So what you need to do is for a month or two support and promote the structure and function of your liver, and that's really easier than falling off of a log because your liver wants to fix itself. You can surgically remove, I think 75%, something like that. Just cut it out. It'll grow back, right? Your skin doesn't even do that. So the liver is a wonderful thing to augment. And the secret sauce for liver function from our point of view is the selenium. So in order to optimize liver function, what I would do is I would do 4 bottles. How much do you weigh, Val?
10.
I'm sorry?
110.
All right, so I would do 3 bottles of selenium a month. And also, do you have a juicer at home? All right, so go to the market. It's summertime and vegetables are in, and get some beets, some fresh beets. Yep.
Okay.
Chop the greens off and drink the juice of 1 raw beet every day. 1 raw beet. Just juice up 1 raw beet, and that's not going to taste so good all by itself. But what you can do is you can mix beet juice, carrot juice, and green apple juice. How about that? Get some Granny Smith apples, some carrots, and some beets. And you just juice the beet, not the green. And, you know, have 8 to 12 ounces of that solution a couple times a day for a month, plus the selenium. That'll go a long way towards helping your liver to come around. The only thing you have to be careful of when you do this is the concentrated beet juice turns everything red. So your pee will look red, your poop will look red, you think you're bleeding to death, and it's like, oh, my God, what did you do, Dr. Glidden? I'm bleeding internally. Well, no, you're not. It's the beet juice coming out. So that's what I would do. I would do that for a couple of weeks. You know, you could even do it for a week, take a week off, do another week, take a week off, do another week, take a week off, like that. But in the background all the time would be 9 selenium a day, 3 with breakfast, 3 with lunch, 3 with dinner. All right, Val, we got, because I talk too much, we have 1 minute left. What else?
Quickly then, I also was diagnosed with having narrow angle eyes. It's not yet glaucoma, but they may want to do some laser surgery, which kind of worries me.
No. Okay, so that would have been compounded by the hormone replacement therapy that you were taking. So what we want to do here to support and promote the structure and function of the eyes, because you can't never run surgery something, Val. It's always better to leave that for absolute last. Well, selenium, you're already doing it, plus the Ultimate Daily Capsules. So get 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily Capsules, add that into the bargain, take 6 a day, 2, 2, and 2. Take 9 selenium a day and do the beet juice experiment. You're going to love how you feel. Thank you for the testimonial. Thank you for the trust. Now go out there and help us spread our message. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Peter Glidden signing off for today. See you on tonight's live chat for subscribers only.